Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 17th of February. So what have we got lined up today? Well, we'll look at the currencies in a moment. Let's just have a quick look at the news events coming out today. Let's just switch on to Friday, it'd be good. There we go. So UK retail sales already out above expectation. Hurrah, we've actually seen something that's positive. In fact, just going to come back to the data from yesterday, and you just saw look at the inflation. US inflation yesterday, these figures, and well, they're strong for the dollar, and it pushed the dollar stronger. We saw unemployment figures also sitting there below expectation, which was positive. The Fed numbers not so good for manufacturing data, not so good, but overall there were a stack of speakers that I hadn't seen on here, and were out yesterday, and they certainly spoke. Anyway, leading to Friday, let me just check on the speakers today. They seem to have suddenly appeared yesterday. We do have speakers at 11:30 and 1:30. And 1:45, so we got a couple of Fed speakers at 1:30, 1:45. We got Villeroy this morning at 11:30. I think there's Villeroy spoken before, but we'll see. Anyway, not a great deal there compared to yesterday. Maybe we'll get these markets moving again. They've been so ugly of late, and this is how they go sometimes. You just wait for news, wait for speakers, and sometimes there's an uncertainty, and we've sort of certainly been sitting in that uncertainty for a while. Anyway, looking at where we are at the moment, there seems to be we seem to be in a breakdown pattern here for now on the euro. So the dollar's still doing its thing. However, just looking at this weekly, we're down to the weekly S1 here and finding a bit of support off that at the moment. Yesterday it went completely opposite to how I'd have liked it initially to go, but we managed to get short the other side of it. But even that was hanging in by a teeth for a while. But anyway, that's gone beyond expectation now, I suppose. But it's whether or not, I mean, we've got an untouched pivot here this morning, 75% chance of being hit. We'll see how things sort themselves out in the next hour or so. We're just seeing so much movement backwards and forwards through the morning sessions. This 8 o'clock session yesterday suggesting it was looking alongside only to roll back again. So it's a case of waiting a bit, I think, in the mornings. Well, I know for me personally anyway. The pound dollar, that also breaking down at the moment. Opportunities are sitting there potentially to play back towards the daily pivot. We've broken the weekly S1 here. Classic rollover yesterday. But for me it came at the wrong time. It really started on that 1:30 time frame, and it was that's where the big movement came. Great retrospectively, but you just don't know what's going to happen with the results coming out and the speakers that follow. Anyway, it's as I say, it's got the support on the weekly pivot. It's not too far off finding support here really on the S1. That might just hold it. We'll see how it moves. My preference on both of these at the moment, the way they're moving, is to sell off the pivots. So it might be a bit of a wait. We'll see. US dollar, yen. A lot of these markets eventually went out of consolidation yesterday. This was another one. Looks like we're seeing the yen weaken some more. It's really dollar strength across the board, pretty much. Overall, and this one, it broke out, came back, retested, and off it went again. But again, it broke out at the wrong time for me. So it's already into its R2 where it is. It's got an untouched pivot below. Who knows? Maybe it will come back a little bit more. Miko, yeah, it's horrible at the moment in a sense, but we go through these spells, and I mean, I know you said yesterday, what are these markets waiting for now? And that's what it seems. It's a bit frustrating in terms of the way they're moving. But there's so much indecision on the overall markets. I think that we're seeing this reflected in the currencies. However, we are seeing these lower highs coming through. Maybe, as I said, with the euro, the pound, we should be looking at the short side of some of these. Yes, they've got a bit of support, or they're close to their weekly S1s, but that'll be gone soon. Again, the Aussie dollar's exactly the same here in terms of pattern. Maybe I'd prefer to be selling it into its pivot, and it may be just waiting, but it could be a trade back to the pivot with a 75% plus chance of being hit. If it doesn't and they switch around, there is the trade down to its S2 as it hasn't hit the pivot. I'd like to see it come up a little bit more before failing, and if it fails, then I'm in on the break of the S1. So there's opportunities this morning, but a bit of patience first thing. Canadian dollar, that duped me into a short yesterday morning, and only to completely turn around, and again weakness all the way through here. It's running up towards its R1 at the moment, but there we are. Right, other pairings. There's nothing particularly setting up. I mean, look at this euro. Look at the cross pairs here. Euro yen. It spent most of yesterday promising to break out, never did. It's still got the chance of pushing to the upside and continuing. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Well, it won't be tomorrow because it's closed. Anyway, it's something I'll leave alone for now. Euro Aussie. Is all I can say on that. It's yeah. A lot of these cross pairs today really aren't setting for me too well. Yep, we got the R1 on the Euro CAD. It is starting to. Well, is it giving us an upward trend? It could just as easily run back into this range, the higher part of the range, and roll over again. So not a great deal there, but there are some things to look at. So I'm sitting there. Probably a bit wishful thinking. It's Friday. I won't be giving anything back this afternoon, so give it back Friday, it's known as. So I won't have too much to give back this week, the way the prices have moved. Right, quick switch over. Let's have a look at gold and oil. Gold first here. It's just come out. You can see gold's continued as it pretty much was the picture yesterday. It's messy with its continuation, so it's consolidating a lot and then suddenly going okay. This to me is very difficult to trade unless you're into a bigger swing, and even then you've got to be a bit careful how you place it. You get sort of news, you can't place it around any news. So you see what happened here. If you'd maybe on a perfectly good short breaking down on the pivot there, well, you'd have been bang, it'd have been taken out and you'd have been right, but wrong. There we go. But it's a fickle old one at times. Anyway, erring towards the downside, and this just proves the strong dollar. Goodness, can't speak this morning. I had an early night last night. It's not good for you. Oil, well, that's continuing to run south side a little bit, and again, strong dollar effect running through there. Quick look through the indices. And again, strong dollar and everything else not helping, and the fact that interest rate increases, etc., it's affecting all of these markets, and they're pretty much all negative this morning in the futures. Just give you that point now, and we are seeing these breakdowns, a solid breakdown on the CSI 300 and Nikkei. Well, I'm on a 4 hourly. There we go. It gapped, and then it's down on yesterday anyway. So negative day there. Horrible looking chart that's sort of forming there. The Nifty 50, well, it eventually broke the trend line, but only up to its weekly R1 and then rolling back again at the moment. As I said, none of these markets really like what's going on. Solid down day yesterday on the S&Ps, and a continuation this morning. We could see this running on further on these US markets. Dow Jones still remains ugly, but it is breaking towards the downside a bit easier than it was pushing to the upside. Nasdaq a bit disappointing here as well. Bearish engulfing bar there on the Nasdaq. Quite a key reversal bar effectively. We'll see how it develops over the coming days. But a break of this the previous low here confirms a lower high and perhaps more downside in the near term at least. Now I'm starting to get a bit more bullish on these equity markets, but there you go, that's where they are. The DAX holding up pretty well, and it's still near its highs. Okay, we'll see what it does today. It might come off some more, but it's hanging up there. And the FTSE, you look at this, and it for most of the time it's the most positive of all, and it's just waiting. Oops, there you go. On the shorter times here to look for opportunities. It's muddled where it is on the short term picture here. Yesterday it managed to push on. Wednesday it managed to push back up. Yesterday didn't really like the data at all, and it's been dancing around. It's a mess where it is for now, but get back above the daily pivot, I'll be a bit more bullish. At the moment it's erring to the bearish side of things. Okay, I'm pretty done for today. That's it. Oh, a quick look at the Bitcoin crypto market. Look at Bitcoin itself. Now, these actually had been doing pretty well on Wednesday. Yesterday rolled back, solid old move there on Wednesday, but partly given back yesterday, but still up a little bit this morning. So same sort of picture across Litecoin, Ethereum. Similar picture. Maybe they have got some more. It'll be interesting watching them over the weekend and see what comes of them, but they have been a bit more positive of late. So there we are. Anyway, I wish you a great weekend, a great day today. If we can get something set up mid-morning would be good. I say mid-morning, about 9 o'clock. And we'll see what happens. And right, catch you next week. Take care. Bye for now. There we go. Jobbed.